All right, it is week 16. Yesterday we talked about ratios. Today we'll talk about unit rates. And this will be part 1 of our notes. Tomorrow we'll do unit rates part 2. Make sure you label your notes. All right, a customer of a certain credit card earns points for using the card. The table below shows the number of points earned for the amount spent. You can see the number of points here, the dollar spent here. So does each dollar spent appear to have the same number of points or not? Well, we can figure out that 2 times 8 is 16, 4 times 8 is 32, 9 times 8 is 72. So for every $1 spent, you get 8 points. So the unit rate is 8 points per $1. I should put in the word per here, per $1. Or just 8 points per dollar. We don't need to say 1 there. Okay, so what is a rate? A rate is a ratio that compares 2 quantities measured in different units. So it can't be points to points or dollars to dollars. You have different units, different labels. So points per dollar would be a rate. That's a certain type of ratio. Okay, so then what is a unit rate? Well, a unit means 1. So the rate for 1 unit of a given quantity. Okay, so the key is it's just 1. So unit rates always have a denominator of 1. All right, let's look at some examples here. Here are some common unit rates. See if you can beat me down with this. MPH stands for miles per hour. So it's how many miles you can go in 1 hour. RPM, that's a hard one. It's revolutions per minute. And that's used a lot of times with engines. WPM, there we have words per minute. And that has to do with typing a lot of times. MPG, now we have miles per gallon. And this has to do with engines a lot of times too, cars, vehicles. BPM, this has to do with your heart, or if you're a musician, beats per minute. MPBE, MBPS, this is a computer one, megabytes per second. And this is one I would think, if you're at home, you may want to check how fast your internet is. Go to the website, and you don't have to write this in your notes, fast.com real quick, and it'll tell you how fast your internet is, how many megabytes per second. If you're past 10, they say you can run Netflix on it. It's fast enough for videos. Okay, so those are all common unit rates. Per hour, per gallon, per minute. It could be per anything. Notice they all have the word per in it. I've told you a lot. Per is very important in 6th grade math. Whatever word follows your per is your denominator. So these are all division problems. So what we're going to do is you are going to divide or multiply to make this equal 1 unit. We want our denominator to always be 1. So let's look at this example. Amy can read 88 pages in 4 hours. How many pages can she read per hour? So we know it's a division problem. We put per, we put our denominator as hour. I want you to get in the habit of putting labels on this. So we know pages is going to be our numerator. And what does the info tell us? It tells us that there's 88 pages per 4 hours. Okay? This is not a unit rate. Right now we have a rate. And I want you to write this in your note to turn to turn it into a unit rate, we need to get my denominator of 4 here to be 1. And how do we do that? We divide them both by 4. So it's per 1 hour. So 88 divided by 4 is 22 pages per 1 hour. Usually we don't write it like that. We would write it 22 pages per hour. All right, the next example. Maya runs 30 miles in 2 hours. How many miles does she run per hour? So my denominator is in hours, per. We found the per. Circle the per. I want you to get in the habit of circling the per. 2 hours, so 30 miles. We want to make our denominator 1, so 30 divided by 2 is 15 miles per hour. Or better yet, 15 mph. Looking back to our common unit rate above. Okay, another example. So I'm trying to mess with you a little bit. Jim bought 3 pounds of bacon for $9. How many dollars did he pay per pound? Don't just do 3 divided by 9. Okay, that's what we read left to right, but we don't always write our answer left to right. It's per pound. Pound is my denominator. So I need pounds as my denominator. My denominator is 3. My numerator is $9. So that equals $3 per 1 pound, or $3 per pound. It's a good idea to always ask to make sure your answer makes sense. If you did 3 divided by 9, you would have came up with 33 cents. 33 cents per pound of bacon? I don't think so. I wish. I'd be eating bacon like crazy if that was the case. Heart attack, here we come. All right, next, let's compare unit rates. Okay, so we find the unit rate of 2 different products, and then we think about if we want the number to be bigger or smaller. Better math terms would have been larger or smaller, or greater or less, but I used bigger or smaller. So with money, you want to spend less. You always want savings. Okay, so let's look at this in action. Juice is sold in 2 different sizes. There's a 48 fluid ounce bottle that costs $2.07. There's a 32 fluid ounce bottle that costs $1.64. What's the better buy? So which costs less per ounce? There's that per. Circle your per. Then we're going to put ounce as our denominator. So we're going to compare the 48 for 207. We're going to compare that to the 32 fluid ounce for $1.64. And I know I should put the FL for fluid because a fluid ounce is different than an ounce. Okay, so let's figure out how much it is per ounce. So 207 divided by 48. These Alex topics do have calculators built into them, so make sure you're utilizing the calculator when it asks. And we want to obviously round our answer to the nearest penny. It gives you an answer like this. So it's that per fluid ounce. Well, that doesn't make sense. We want to know to the nearest penny. 0.43. And we don't round that up. 43 cents per fluid ounce. Okay, this other one here, we do $1.64 divided by 32, and I'm okay if you just let me work it out. 0.5125. Something doesn't look right. Oh, I messed up here, guys. I'm sorry. You'll have to back up a little bit. There's a 0 in there. So it shouldn't be, it should be 4 cents per fluid ounce. Hopefully your notes can look a little better than mine. 4 cents per fluid ounce over here. Over here, when we round, it's 5 cents per fluid ounce. Okay, do you want to pay 4 cents per fluid ounce or 5 cents? You want to pay less. Doesn't seem like much, but it does add up. So the answer for the better buy is this one, the 5 cents per fluid ounce. So you want to buy the 32 fluid ounce bottle, not the 48. I'm sorry. Back that up again. You don't want to pay 5 cents. You want to pay 4 cents. You want to buy the 48 fluid ounce bottle. So buy the 48 ounce bottle. Okay, next problem, spend less. Alonzo, DeAndre, and Brian made flyers last Wednesday. The table below shows the number of flyers each person made and how much time each person spent. So here's how much time, here's how many flyers. 54 in 6 minutes, 35 in 5 minutes, 18 in 3 minutes. Write the time spent per flyer for each person, per flyer. So flyer's my denominator. Hey, they've already set it up for you. 54 over 6, 35 over 5, 18 over 3. They won't always do that. Sometimes they'll have these two flipped. Okay, so Alonzo spent 54 divided by 6, 9 minutes. DeAndre, 35 divided by 5, 7 minutes per flyer. Brian, 6 minutes per flyer. So who worked the fastest? 6 minutes per flyer, 7 minutes per flyer, or 9 minutes per flyer? So the fastest is the 6 minutes per flyer. It's got to be Brian. Even though it's the smallest number, he worked faster. Okay. So that's what we're doing today. You're going to find unit prices. You're going to compare to see which is the better buy. You're going to make unit rates. And then you're going to use tables to compare different ratios with the unit rates. Tomorrow we'll advance it and we'll do some of these topics over here. All right, good luck.